What's up, guys? It is Dustin again with the Seeing Red MMA Podcast here. This week, there are no fights this weekend other than the PFL, Bellator, Jorge's boxing promotion. Anthonyjoshua is also fighting as well, too. So, not really going to go over one specific event or anything like that. Just talk and see what kind of comes to mind. I'm calling this the Shenanigans episode, so nothing real specific that's going to be on my mind like previous episodes, like with the specific UFC card coming up or anything like that, or doing a reaction to any of the UFC cards. But so we're just kind of messing around, getting a feel for it, talking about some future matchups, some current matchups, also some announcements that have come out this week as well too. So just to kind of dive right into it as well too. As we all know, this weekend there's no UFC event because the next big UFC card is going to be next weekend, the 8th, I believe it is, for the Israel Adesanya versus Alex Pereira 2. I won't go into that one here because I'm going to save that card for that specific week there, so I actually do have something to talk about that week. But this week, I'm just going to go over fight announcements and kind of this weekend as well too, what I would kind of watch and what I kind of look for as far as entertaining fights and things like that. But let me just get my computer pulled up here and we'll begin this rigmarole. All right. There we go. So, got all this information pulled up here. So, one big fight that I know that we were all kind of saw there, if you follow a lot of the major organizations on Twitter and things like that, MMA Junkie, Bloody Elbow, things like that, you might have saw that we now have iliatopuria fighting Josh Emmett sometime in the near future. I believe it said it was June. Let me see exactly when the date is because I think it's main eventing its own card, so I don't think that's going to be its own. It'll be its own main event there, but I don't think it's going to be like International Fight Week or anything like that. Let's see here. Yes, Josh Emmett versus iliatopuria coming up here to headline UFC event on June 7th, so right before International Fight Week, a little bit under a month before International Fight Week. I really like that fight. I think it's a good step up in competition for iliatopuria, especially since he's been coming off just devastating win after win after win, especially his last one over Bryce Mitchell, coming in there and pretty much just running through Bryce Mitchell. I know Bryce did say he had some medical issues going into that fight, but either way, I mean, Topuria's been a guy I've had on my radar for quite a long time, and I'm pretty sure if you're a fight fan, he's been on your radar quite a long time as well too. And also, you got Josh Emmett coming off the loss to Yair Rodriguez for the interim featherweight strap as well too. So this is his opportunity to bounce back against a very tough opponent here. Now, as far as how I think this fight will go, I am not sure. I have no idea how this fight's going to go. I'm pretty sure what will happen once the odds kind of come out for that card, once we get closer to June 17th, I'll kind of use those odds to base what I think is going to happen there. But as of right now, I am kind of biased towards Topuria there. He's undefeated. He's 13-0 going against Josh Emmett, who's a little bit long in the tooth for his career there. So I could see Topuria getting it done there. Now, as far as how he'd get it done, I mean, like we all know, Topuria is a kind of a wizard in all arts there. He's got a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He's got nasty striking as well, too. And he can handle himself with some pretty dangerous shots as well. So do I think he'll have some adversity to face with Josh Emmett? Yeah, it's Josh Emmett. I think anybody in the right mind is going to know that Josh Emmett's going to be a pretty tough customer there. So I don't expect him to run through Josh Emmett, but at the same time, though, who knows? Topuria is just that good, I think. I think he's really that good, and I also think Josh Emmett, being a veteran as well, too, I think he's definitely got some, he's still got some gas left in the tank there. Now, do I think it's going to be one of the better fights of his career? Depends. I think his best fight that he's had so far in his career is either the Ricardo Lamas knockout or when he knocked out, or when he fought Calvin Kattar. So either way, I think that's going to be a very good fight to look forward to. Now, don't mind me, I'm just signing in to Twitter right now just so I can get all this information pulled up. Should have probably had this already pulled up here, but you know how it goes. We're flying by the seat of our pants right now, as Crystalia likes to say. I'm just getting this last little piece signed in. All right, no, we're not going to do that. I'm not going to save it to the computer. I don't like saving my passwords to computers per se. But let's see. So, just kind of going through Twitter here right now. Oh, puppy video. Everyone likes a good puppy video. All right, let's see. Let me see if I can pull up MMA Junkie. I usually use MMA Junkie for most of my news because they're a pretty reliable source, and yeah, might as well stick with it. I did not see this fight that got announced here. Dan Ige is going to fight Nate Landwehr, targeted for UFC 289. That's going to be a good one. And I know if you just watched last weekend, Nate Landwehr fought and won against, is it Austin Lingo? Yeah, I think it is Austin Lingo. It won against Austin Lingo there. So, man, if you like fights, you like Nate Landwehr, especially the guy with the personality like that. And Dan Ige has been around the block as well, too. So, yeah, they expect a good fight out of that one. I think I got Dan Ige. I think he's just more seasoned there. Yeah, it's a pretty good fight to watch. I mean, I'm definitely going to watch it because I'm a degenerate. Excuse me. But, Corey Anderson will be fighting Phil Davis in Bellator on June 16th in Chicago. So, pretty cool there. Pretty cool. If you like Bellator, myself personally, it's got to be a very good fight for me to want to watch Bellator. Like Sergio Pettis. Oh, yes, Sergio Pettis is fighting Patricio Pitbull for the bantamweight belt. So Pitbull's going to go for 3-division champ that's coming up here soon. So definitely check out that one. That's definitely one I will watch for sure because Pitbull is just a tank. Sergio, very crafty, knocked out Horiguchi in a fight that he was losing. Just kind of going through the news here. Come on. Give me something to talk about here. Randy Refield? Who is that? I don't know. Bellator fighter. Oh, yeah, Brendan Loughnane is going to be Loughnane, blah, 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 however you say it, will be fighting Marlon Moraes. And how dare you, PFL, for feeding Marlon Moraes to him there. That's just mean. We know Marlon Moraes' chin is pretty much non-existent at this point. The fact that you're giving him a title shot against the featherweight champ in the PFL right now, who just won last season's tournament, that's just rude. That's just rude. Man, I wish they did him a little bit more justice. Match him up accordingly, man. If he's fighting at featherweight, and I know Jeremy Stephens is fighting this weekend against josealdo, but that's a good fight to watch as well, too. It's an opportunity for Jeremy Stephens to get back on the horse. It's also an opportunity for Marlon Moraes to get back on the horse. Both veterans of the game. Yeah. I like to see that coming on as well, too. Let's see what else we got here. Like I said, this is just Shenanigans episode, just kind of talking as we go. Paulo Costa with a pretty funny tweet saying Israel Adesanya out of UFC 287, sudden clitoris fracture. Pretty funny. Pretty funny stuff, guys. I will say that. What else? Oh, fight news is coming for Wonder Boy. So if you're on the same page as I am and you have the same hopes and dreams I do, jackdellamaddalena. Please let it be JDM. If it's JDM, it'll be such a good fight. I think that's a good test for JDM. I think he gets past Wonder Boy. As far as how he wins, I don't think he necessarily knocks him out, but I think he's able to kind of outstrike him and at least be more active. Because I know, with Wonder Boy, he's kind of just plods forward, doesn't really throw combinations, kind of jab, straight right, straight left, hook kick, push kick, kind of just keeps you at a distance and tries to hit you with one shot at a time there. So a guy like Jack who throws nasty combinations, I could see him getting the job done via decision. If that does happen, I'm prefacing with that, if it does happen, I would love to see that as well too. Or Vicente Luque. That would be a great fight for Maddalena, I think, as well. I think Vicente Luque is probably one of the toughest tests that you can get out of the welterweight division right now. I know he's been on a bit of a skid as of recent, but hey, if he can get past Luque, that's a great fight. Get him in there against like Jeff Neal, both two very good boxers. I would love to see that. Oh yeah, those OnlyFans girls. OnlyFans models that flashed. You probably saw that a while ago. That's pretty crazy. Let's see what else I can try and stir up on here. Like I said, we're just kind of flying by the seat of our pants right now and just seeing what we can scrounge up. Let's see. Yeah, where's Roman? Where's Rose at? Is Rose getting the title shot against Wei Li? We haven't heard much about that division right now. Interesting. Maybe we'll hear about that soon. Oh yeah, the Hasbulla video. Man, I know some people say, man, Hasbulla, I don't get it. Other people are like, I find it hilarious. He's adorable. Man, I don't know if I can ride with Hasbulla after that video of him punching his cat. I don't like that. I don't like animal abuse. I think that's fucked up. So hopefully he gets his shit together, but I mean, it's hard to say he didn't do it. It's obviously his squeaky ass voice holding the camera and shit. So, yeah, it's a tough one. That's a tough one. Oh, I don't want to talk about this upcoming fight here. So you know what we'll do? Oh yeah, another good fight to kind of talk about, and this is probably going to be the worst video I've ever done because it's probably going to be scatterbrain bullshit across the whole video, but I do not care. So, Professional Fighters League, PFL, this Saturday. I don't want to buy tickets. What the hell are you doing? Wow, tickets are still for sale and it's this weekend? Ugh. Yikes. That's probably not a good look for them. Yikes. That's right. We got Rob Wilkinson fighting the debuting Thiago Santos there. So you got a champion in Brandon Lockman fighting Marlon Moraes. And then you also got the current champion fighting a guy in his debut. Strange. Very strange there. But, I mean, with a guy like Santos, it does make a little bit more sense. Former title challenger, has fights with former champions. Jan has a win over Jan, has a fight against former champ Jones, who is now current heavyweight champ. Former fight against current champ Jamal Hill as well too. So, yeah, I mean, he's been around the block for a while. I mean, I think this is the fight where we'll get to see, is he actually washed? I don't think he is. I don't want to think he is because I like Thiago Santos when he's actually pulling the trigger. So we'll see. But yeah, Lockney, Moraes, Wilkinson, Santos. Chris Jotko's fighting, a guy I've never even heard of. So that'll be cool. Ooh, Chris Wade fighting Bubba Jenkins. I got Wade. Yep, typical PFL. Very, very, very top heavy. So, yeah. Oh, Impa Kasanganay. That's cool. Kasanganay is fighting. It looks like he might be opening up the card. So that's pretty neat for PFL. They got really two fights I kind of care about, and the other fights I could give or take. So probably catch me watching the latter end of that card. But you also got Bellator this weekend. Yeah, Bellator. Woo! Bellator, yeah. Yeah. I can only fake excitement for so much. Dude, I don't even know these guys' names. I'm such a bad fan when it comes to MMA because I really only watch the UFC. I know it's you're probably watching this going like, oh, you only watch the UFC? Fucking casual. Yeah. It's the most entertaining and most polished organization out there. Come to me with another organization that's just as polished as the UFC, that has high-level fighters just like the UFC. I know Bellator, you can make that argument, but that's only for the top of the divisions, like the champions or number one contenders. Everybody else is mid, unfortunately. Like Leah McCourt, 7-2, fighting Kat Zingano, 13-4, 145 pounds. That's your co-main event. Your main event is just a heavyweight fight. Marcelo Golm versus Daniel James. Who the hell are those guys? I don't know who they are. John Salter, I know him. Aaron Jeffrey, the mullet god. Might catch that one. 2 wrestlers, though, so we might just get a shitty kickboxing match on the feet if they kind of negate each other. Archie Colgan, Justin Montalvo. Who? Sullivan Cowley versus Luke Traynor. Who? I don't know. What do you want me to say? I don't want you. What do you want me to say? It's like, come on, man. Like, I don't know these fighters. Like, I'm sorry. I have a job and shit, and like I have a life outside of watching MMA. But at the same time, though, like, shit, give me a break. I'm not supposed to know the guy who's like 1-2 in Bellator. Like, come on now. I mean, maybe there'll be something one day, but God, Bellator sucks, dude. But probably what I'll end up being most excited for this weekend is Gamebred. That's a Jorge Masvidal Gamebred promotion that he has going on, the Gamebred Boxing 4, where the main event is Roy Jones Jr. versus Anthony Pettis, which is the weirdest matchup I have ever seen. That is so weird. I don't know how they managed to pull off Roy Jones Jr. I know he was on Rogan discussing how he was able to kind of pull that off, but Anthony Pettis as well, too. I mean, you kind of think about it. You're like, Anthony Pettis is kind of small, right? Apparently not. Apparently, from what Gamebred's been saying, he's been bulking up quite a bit, trying to get up to at least like 200 pounds to fight Roy. I don't know what weight they're going to be fighting at. It just says 8 3-minute rounds, pro boxing. So maybe it's a catch weight. Maybe it's a specific weight class. I don't know. Another kind of weird fight on there. You got Jose Aldo fighting Jeremy Stephens again. That's in the co-main event. That's 6 3-minute rounds. I'll watch it. I watch it. Those guys know how to throw down. So I'll definitely be tuning into that one. Then you got another fight. I feel bad. I feel bad for this one because it's Vitor who's now back on the sauce. Sauced up Titor. That's why I call him Titor Belfort. He's fighting Jacare Souza. Oh, I don't really like that. I don't like that for Jacare. Poor Jacare, especially since it's just boxing. It's also 6 3-minute rounds. Pro Gonzalez is on the card fighting Gina Mazzani. 6 2-minute rounds. That's kind of weird. Because the fight before that is Josh Burns, Dylan Kleckler? I don't know. They're 8 3-minute rounds. Or no, they're 6 3-minute rounds. Fight before that, Devin Cushing versus Damian David Marciano. That's 8 3-minute rounds. Luis Felicino, Clarence Booth's 8 3-minute rounds. And then you get to another one, Roberto Armas, Javier Zamarn, 4 3-minute rounds. And then Danielle Cohen, Danielle Wynn, 4 2-minute rounds. By Wynn, Andy Wynn, 4 2-minute rounds. Marcus Perez versus joeriggs, 4 3-minute rounds. Cade Howell, Devontae Sewell, 4 3-minute rounds. Now, so when it comes to boxing, I am extremely casual. I barely even watch some of the big fights there. I think the last boxing fight I actually sat down and watched was the last Canelo and Triple G fight, which was okay. Wasn't great. It just further solidifies that I like MMA a lot more than boxing. But I don't know. Tell me if I'm wrong. I'm like I've said, I'm a complete novice to boxing. When it comes to female fights, are they only allowed 2-minute rounds unless it's like championships, or you got to be like a certain experience level? Like, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm being legit right now. I don't know. But I just noticed all the female fighters on this card are only fighting 2-minute rounds. Everybody else is fighting at least 3-minute rounds. Okay. I don't know. Oh, wait. Hold on. There's a bug right here. Is Rizin this weekend? Ooh, see, this is... So, Rizin... I will watch Rizin more often than I will watch Bellator. and I barely watch Bellator, to the point where I'm using barely very willingly, or very sparingly, better said. But Rizin, I think, even has a better product than Bellator. Only issue is the prelims start at 2 a.m. Eastern Time, which makes that about 11 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, which is where I am. So in order for me to watch an entire Rizin card, I have to drink like 6 cups of coffee. And most of the time, I don't end up doing that and watching the whole card because your boy is tired. I get very tired. But even though like there's guys on here who don't even have their records posted, sometimes it ends up being better. So Rizin, I mean, it's basically just pride at this point. I mean, Rizin is pride. The main event, you got a kickboxing match. Fight before that, you got MMA. So yeah, the main event of an MMA card is a kickboxing match. And then you got Shun Oshni versus Motoki. I don't know who they are, but shit, I might end up watching that just because those are probably one of the earlier fights there, and I'll probably be awake for them. What is this? So yeah, I mean, Rizin I feel like has a better kind of structure than even like, I would say they're up there with like ONE FC. I mean, obviously UFC is kind of like the big dog. I mean, even though it's cliche to say, I think the UFC does have the best fighters in the world. I think if you maybe took like the best fighter in each division from every other promotion and put them against like even the number one contender in the UFC, either it's a very close matchup and either one of them wins like a split decision, or the UFC champion or number one contender kind of just dominates. And there is special scenarios with stuff like that. Like if, even then, I was going to say like if Pitbull comes to featherweight, Volkanovski beats Pitbull, obviously. But then also like Bibiano, what's his name? Just beat John Lineker for the bantamweight title and won. If he comes over, I'm pretty sure Aljamain handles him. At the same time, though, you got guys like On Long Song. Take him, put him with like an evenly ranked guy in the UFC. Depending what weight class, whether that's heavyweight or light heavyweight, probably light heavyweight has better luck of winning, but might lose a split decision to like Blachowicz, Ankalaev. He might even have to cut down to middleweight, and even then, Jared Cannonier, Marvin Vettori, Sean Strickland. My point is, I know I kind of went off a tangent there. I think the UFC is still by far the best product pretty much out there. But I'm on Tapology right now, so if we look at Tapology MMA rankings, major trending men's changes. Tapology, what the hell are you doing? Why is TJ Dillashaw in the men's rankings? He's retired. This don't make no goddamn sense. Raquel Pennington, you're number 4 That's where there's probably the difference. 1 championships, Bellators, and maybe even Rizin's female divisions, like especially bantamweight. Besides Amanda Nunes, like Raquel Pennington, really? Come on. Oh, my light just went off. That's pretty cool. So, yeah. Wow, really? Right in the middle of this? Let me see if I can turn that back on. All right. Don't know how much longer that light's going to last, so I think that's my time to kind of wrap it up here. Either way, if I had to put in order the fights I'm probably going to watch this week, top, just because I think it's kind of just weird, and I think it's probably a fun card to watch, Gamebred's boxing promotion. Second to that, maybe PFL. The only reason why I'm not saying Rizin is because I don't want to stay up till 4 in the morning to watch Rizin. Then probably Rizin after PFL. Then after PFL, watch some grass grow. Just stand outside and stare at the grass. Probably do that before I watch Bellator, if I'm going to be completely honest here. So, yeah, this weekend, it's heavy on the cards. Like, there's definitely a lot of options. But are you going to be watching the top people in the world? Probably not. But also, like we talked about in the beginning, kind of some things that you can look forward to in the upcoming months here for MMA. You got iliatopuria fighting Josh Emmett at a UFC main event here in June. Then you also got more than likely jackdellamaddalena fighting a guy like Wonder Boy, which would be pretty freaking sweet as well too. So that would be pretty cool. Let me just go on here just real quick before my light dies on me again, because I can already tell it's getting dimmer. So it's basically telling me I need to charge it. Yeah, Jones Pettis. Hey, where's Amanda at? Do we know where she is? She fighting Irene Aldana in Canada? Maybe. Hasbula. Little midget, unfortunately. Did we ever find out about what happened to that judge that gave the fight to Cheeto? Because I think they need to be imprisoned, because that was a horrible scorecard. I know we talked about it last time, but that's all I got. Kind of just put this one out there to make sure I stay in the algorithm there. It's still a lot of fun to do, even though there's not really much to talk about. So, yeah, I think I'll go ahead and cut it there. If you like the videos, make sure to like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at Seeing Red MMA. I'll probably get this up in the morning time here and tweet it out. In case you do follow me, you'll know when to tune in. But other than that, thank you for watching. My name is Dustin. You guys have yourself a great rest of your day. I appreciate it. Have a good one.